Sam the Pool Man here. I wanted to take an opportunity to show you a few things about a pool equipment pad that maybe aren't obvious, and maybe what we're doing here can give you some troubleshooting ideas in case you run into similar issues. So I'm here at a customer's house. They're having an issue where the pump isn't priming, and I want to show you what we found so far. And there's some things about this equipment pad that are unusual, but hopefully, a good bit of what we have going on here is common across pads. And so there are definitely some things that you may find useful when it comes to your troubleshooting. So here we go. So here's what we're dealing with. It's a standard Pentair equipment pad. The issue the customer's running into is the pump isn't priming when he runs it. So we're gonna turn that on now. It's in service mode. Put it back into automatic. And this pump's going to start priming here in just a moment. I had mentioned there's some unusual things about this equipment pad. This valve right here. It's very odd. It seems like it's just a return going to the pool. Generally, you wouldn't want to split the flow, especially if you're trying to run your heater. When they put this pool in spa mode, what had been happening in the past is this thing would open and you split your flow, and then the spa doesn't want to run properly. So that was an issue they had had in the past. But now what we're seeing is this pump, it's not priming. Now, one of the first things you can do if you run into this, go to your filter. This is a sand filter. There'll be an air bleed valve. So this is a Triton 140. This is where this bleed valve is. You want to open it up. Notice the sound has changed. I don't know if you can tell, but we got water running into this. I'm now closing the valve. See how quickly we got prime? So now the valve is closed. What I noticed before is when I left it closed for a bit, it started to lose prime. And then I have to open it again. And you see how there's all this air in here? This is bad. We don't want a ton of air in our filter. This probably indicates that either the O-rings, all of these valves have O-rings. Your pump lid has O-rings. Your backwash valve has O-rings. The top of this filter has O-rings. And as they get older, they can start to allow air into the system, which is not great. So you start running into these priming issues. Right now we have a ton of air in the filter, and evidently when we're not running at max speed, it's not enough to keep the system primed. So we're going to play around with this a little longer just to see what's going on. You see when it stops running, we get some water coming back through, so that might indicate an issue with some check valves. In any case, let's play around with this a little more and I'll let you know what we find. So okay, we got the pump primed after playing with this for about 3 minutes. Turned the valve off. Our priming issue basically 90% resolved. We still have a little bit of air in the system, and I can probably purge this, but we're getting water fairly quickly. So what this tells me, without even looking at the pool, the water level is low, or there's a leak in this line. But what we're probably going to find when we go look at this pool, low water level. So let's see if I'm right. Yeah, you can already tell. It's right at the bottom of the tile line. Let's come back around. Yeah, see that? Just low. Not enough water in the system. We're going to find out here that the autofill is off, I'm sure. If it's not off, we have a leak. Is our autofill? Autofill's off. That's it. So you can purge the air to get a prime. This is the first thing we did. Next thing, well, you should probably take a look at the skimmers, but you can turn off a line in your intake, and if your problem resolves, that is a huge part of your troubleshooting is done. Now you just have to decide, is it a leak? Where's my water level low? Here we are. This is our RPZ, the line coming from the home. This is what's feeding our autofill. We just saw it, the autofill. It's not turning on. If I check here, I know I have flow to this line. This, I believe, was off. So we open that up. You can hear the water coming through here. We check our autofill. Yeah, it's autofill's running now. I don't know if you can hear it. It's very light sound, but you can hear it sis when I sis. I'm not even sure what you call that sound, but a very light hissing. There you go. Hopefully you can tell that we got flow in here now. That's off. That's on. Alrighty. That was a relatively simple one. But there you go. It's, you know, equipment pads can be pretty intimidating. We have issues. I know the homeowner was fighting at the pad. He wasn't sure what's going on. Very simple, I guess we'll say Occam's razor. Check the water level. Very first thing, you can bleed the filter, see if that gets you prime. Sometimes you get air in there. And then finally, close the valve. If you get prime, that tells you the line that you closed. That's the culprit, and you can go from there.